Welcome back, Santa Clarita Valley. We're here on your Neighborhood Watch, brought to you by All American Bail Bonds. Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff Station outreach, law enforcement, what's going on in our community, and what we were just talking about was Prop 47 and AB 109 and how that's created what many are calling a sea change, quote unquote, in law enforcement and criminal justice.
A what?
A sea change.
A seat?
A dramatic.
A seat?
A sea change.
Like the letter C?
No, like the ocean. Oh,
like
goodness.
S-E-A? Why don't you just go back to reading The Onion?
Okay, yeah, I will go back to reading my Onion reports that you don't get. Anyways, Prop 47 has prompted a large reduction in the inmate population because a natural consequence of if you remove the charge and the jail time attached to that charge, or if you reduce the jail time to nothing, then you're not obviously going to see those people in jail. However, so two things. What it has done, though, is it's slowly seen the population creep back up because people are now starting to serve longer portions of those sentences, of those AB 109 sentences. That is the early indications. Now, the criminal justice deputy that I spoke with, Anna Maradian, was not sure that that was sustainable or that was going to keep because as you have those people staying in for longer, you're going to have more and more people in there, and eventually that population, the logical progression would be that the population eventually resumes its previous number. Yeah. Because I was looking, and she was explaining it as a result of sentencing laws. So in California, if you get a 2-year sentence, prior to Prop 47, if you got a 2-year sentence, right off the bat, it was a 1-year sentence. Because in California, state prison time or jail time is automatically cut in half if you have good behavior. That's what I was told. It's a Rutherford doctrine or something. There's some sort of state law that says you will get credit for time served, assuming you don't mess up in jail or prison. You don't, you're a good guy or gal, do your time. Don't cause any incidents, you'll get credit for half of your sentence, time served. So, starting right off the bat, those people that were getting 2-year sentences were doing 1 year. People that were getting 1 year were getting 6 months. And if you were getting 90 days in jail, you were essentially serving no time. And the reason for that is that, okay, you start off with that 1 year mark. Then people, because of the overcrowding situation, the sheriff has the right to release people based on, earlier based on the crowding situation, based on the severity of their penalty, or the severity of their crime and the length of their sentence. So people were serving anywhere. If you were a violent offender prior to Prop 47 and you got that 2-year sentence, your sentence was automatically reduced in half right off the bat, and then you were allowed to serve up to 40% of that, or made to serve only 40% of that, and then some people were getting released. So 40% of 50% of your sentence. So people were doing like 4 or 5 months on a 2-year sentence, right? Now,
so 50% of 50%.
Well, closer to 40%. Now, if you were a nonviolent offender, you were only serving 20% of that 50%. So your 2-year sentence was cut into a year, and then you were serving 20% of that year. So 20.
That would be 60 days.
It's like 2 months, yeah, if that.
So a 2-year sentence, you're serving 60 days
in jail, right? And that was the you saw really people didn't realize that. I think that you were seeing people getting out a lot earlier, and people were upset about that. And now those numbers are creeping back up, and that was what people were pointing out as one of the effects was that you're seeing now those people that were only serving 40% of those sentences for the more serious crimes are now serving closer to 100%. But again, we only have 2 months of data to look at, so we don't know if that's a long-lasting effect or, again, what the logical progression would assume is that those numbers would eventually fill up the population and we'd be back where we are. So the population went down from 19,000 to 15,000, and now it's back up to 17,300. And one of the reasons why it's become an issue is because stories like Ethan Odom in the news. That individual was arrested on an AB 109 charge, and then the day before his major incident, which was a kidnapping allegation, Ethan Odom. For those that don't remember, he was accused of stealing a 3-year-old baby
through a window in Newhall.
Right, called the baby over allegedly, and then grabbed the baby and then ran off. He was caught. The day before, he was arrested and released on a charge of theft that basically would have mandated a year in jail before Prop 47, but it was then reduced. So he was booked on November 3rd. November 4th, the law changed, and now he's out. He's out of jail, commits another crime allegedly. And so we see a lot of reaction with respect to AB 109 and Prop 47 as far as, is everybody still like understanding of what happened as a result of that and the consequences of that. And I don't think you have any experts that are willing to say definitively this is what's going to happen, but I think there's still a lot of confusion about what's going on with that. And how
well,
it's
and
gonna
you
affect
only
things in the
have
long term.
you only have Prop 47 now in effect for a couple months.
Right, exactly.
So you don't have
a long-term data set
Right.
to look at and say this is definitively what's going to happen. But all you can do is kind of look at what's happening now and kind of stay informed.
So, spinning off of that, from a deputy's point of view, I would say, obviously, we're still enforcing the laws that are on the book. You know, if
And every time I talk to a deputy, they'll tell you, like, we're not here to have opinions about the law. It's really
Right.
just, you enforce the laws that are put on
Right.
the sheriff's
I mean,
department.
if I pull Perry Smith over in his '93 Toyota Tercel, and you say, "Hey, Perry, you were speeding." Okay. Do you have anything illegal in the car? Yes, I have this giant sack of cocaine here. Okay. You're still going to go get arrested. I mean, whether or not it's a felony or a misdemeanor, we're still going to enforce the law. So, onto that end, we're still enforcing the law, and we're not offering opinions on, this legislation that's passed. We're following the law, and then what happens, up the chain into the court system and different, legislation, and in when the laws are passed, then that's kind of out of our hands.
And that's something that was brought up because an LA Times columnist, quoted somebody off the record saying, well, we're not even encouraged really to make arrests anymore because, we know that they're not going to do any time. Now, that's not, any official stance. That was quoted off the record. But, I mean, your attitude as a deputy is that if I see probable cause, you're still going to effect the arrest.
Absolutely. And I think that, any cop in the whole country, I mean, you didn't become a cop to be a millionaire. You didn't. I mean, you're not gonna get
It's not
rich.
like it's community journalism.
You're not
right?
gonna. Yeah, it's not like Perry Smith. But you're not. I mean, you're not gonna be rich. You do it for other reasons, and so you do it for a sense of pride, especially in your community and helping people and different things like that. So you're still gonna enforce the law. You're not going to just be like, oh, well, it's a reduced sentence, so I'm just not going to arrest anybody. Absolutely not. So you're still going to enforce the law impartially and go on from there. And then after our commercial break, I also want to talk about theft prevention because that kind of relates into this and different things like that.
And speaking of community pride, I want to talk about the CPU and a quick change that we had.
Sure.
All
is
right.
Is it break time?
It is break time. We'll be right back on your Neighborhood Watch, brought to you by All American Bail Bonds on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. Welcome back to Santa Clarita Valley. Hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. The Neighborhood Watch brought to you by All American Bail Bonds, where twice a month we talk about outreach. With the Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff's Station, in the studio with me, Deputy Josh Dubin, and Bomb Threat Boyer representing.
Jeremiah left.
He did. He walked away.
He barely even said anything, and then he left.
He was working.
He stole my microphone. Just saying.
He's like Kyle Jellings in that quiet presence, except that he does work over there in the office.
I don't know what to say about Kyle Jellings.
Yeah, me either.
He's something special.
But CPU.
Let's talk about the
That's
CPU.
Your area, your purview, your expertise. Deputy Manskar.
Deputy Manscar's gone.
He is no longer with us
Well,
in the physical sense.
no, I mean, he's on this earth.
He's not with us right now.
He's not with us right at the moment, and he's no longer assigned to Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff's Station.
There it is.
He's assigned to custody headquarters, which has a unit called the Jail Investigative Unit, which he got a promotion. He's a detective now, and he's...
That's the GU.
The what?
The Jail Investigative Unit?
No, it's JIU.
Yeah.
Jew.
No, that would be JEW. No. No?
Oh, boy. All right. So, what is he doing?
He is investigating crimes that happen in and around the county jail facilities, specifically in the Pitches Detention Center. There's a number of
So when somebody tries to bring drugs in there,
that's one of the crimes, or inmate assaults, or there's a number of things. So he's doing detective work of that, investigating that, working with the district attorney's office. So congratulations to him.
congratulations, Deputy Mark Manskar. If Kyle was on our stuff, we'd have applause for you now, but yeah, whatever.
Should we pause for a minute so you can load it up,
well,
Kyle? Or?
Come on, and he's like half the minute.
So we have a new zone leader in the CPU. Well, we had a couple movement in the CPU, and then we have a new zone leader. Deputy Hector Sanchez is going to be taking over Canyon Country East, which is from Sierra Highway eastern.
Okay.
Deputy Chris Kraft, who was in that zone, took over Deputy Manscar's zone of Saugus.
So Deputy Kraft is the man for Saugus now.
Yes.
Okay.
And so sign up for the Nixle reports. nixle.com, and you will read all about that.
Yeah,
But
he put out a little notice. Sorry, go ahead.
another thing that I want to talk about real quick.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to put out a
Thefts.
Nixle.
Thefts?
Right.
People
We
stealing stuff?
Yeah. We have seen a slight uptick in thefts.
Are you seeing it in one area, or are you
No.
guys seeing it valley-wide?
Valley-wide. And specifically thefts from vehicles. And I believe, I'm going to get the exact numbers, but it's something like 40% of them are either no force entry or the car was unlocked.
Which is what traditionally might be termed also a crime of opportunity.
Right.
Okay.
And
what we're saying is people are giving criminals the opportunity to commit crimes.
right.
Okay.
So I think that I'm going to do a Nixle on that maybe tomorrow, because we got a lot of stuff going on today. We had a radio show today, a bunch of stuff going on today.
What's
But
happening afterwards? Is something else happening today?
no, just catching up on work.
All right.
It's been a busy week, as you know.
I know I do slow down day's progress, don't I?
True. But I think that, every time that we've done an Nixle and we've, done some community outreach, this show, social media and stuff like that, kind of let people know what's going on. I think that the community as a whole has really worked well together, not only preventing crimes, but, keeping that top of mind awareness, lock your car, keep your stuff out of plain view of your car and different things like that.
Don't make it easier for people.
Right. I'm going to get some statistics together of what exactly is stolen. I think it's purses, iPods, laptops, GPSs, different things like that. The common things stolen out of a vehicle. And then, if that is true, 40-something% are unlocked. We gotta work together and fix that. So, lock it up. Lock it up,
Lock
Perry.
it up.
Lock it up, Perry.
Jessica, you wanted to talk about
What do you want to
somebody
talk
was
about, Mom?
running from the law.
Running from the law.
Yeah, I was contacted by All American Bail Bonds, Jeff Chavez, and he had told me that there was this man named Charles Davenport of Lancaster, and he missed his court date back in November, I believe, yes, and they caught him like 2 weeks ago after he'd missed his court date for a long time. He had a couple charges. He was charged with possession for sale of cocaine-based, sale of controlled substance, maintaining a place for selling the substance.
Which is what you have to do if you are selling.
If you're
have to maintain a location. I
allegedly a drug
dealer.
And so his next court date was a couple of days ago.
So what are we trying to say? If you know Charles Davenport, give us a call.
No, we're just
Maybe
kind of
call
saying
deputies.
that
Is he
I
still
guess
outstanding
you
right now?
can't.
Yeah, he's outstanding.
He's not. Oh, no.
Not outstanding. He is.
Is he wanted right now?
Yeah, there you go.
No, they got him.
Oh.
They caught him.
Oh,
yeah.
it was hot. Okay.
So it was kind of a happy story for bail bonds, I guess you could say.
And law enforcement?
And law enforcement, yes. And so he had his court date a couple days ago, and I'm not sure what really happened with that. I'll follow up on that.
Okay,
But
check it out on hometownstation.com.
yeah,
obviously.
definitely.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug. just
But
like
I guess-
your Twitter account, you can follow those stories, right? At
Yeah, at JM Boyer 39.
JM Boyer.
Yeah, M as in Marie.
Okay.
Who's 39?
I was my number when I played volleyball in high school.
Oh.
I've had the Twitter account since like high
Represent.
school.
At JDLASD.
Yep.
At SCV Sheriff. At Perry R. Smith. Or check out Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff Station's Facebook page or KHTS AM 1220's Facebook page or hometownstation.com for more updates. Thank you for listening.
And we'll be back in 2 weeks.
We'll be back in 2 weeks. So this is
On Thursday.
On Thursday, 10 to 11 on your Neighborhood Watch, brought to you by All American Bail Bonds on your hometown station. Thanks for listening.